Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So we having a brief discussion about signs of the hour and some of the signs that we could see in this day and time. You know, understanding, man, the signs of the hour is extremely important. Allah warns about it in Quran al-Kareem, Quran al-Mubin, numerous times, right? And for the ones who believe in Aqidah, that Aqidah is a real system of beliefs, the signs or the day of judgment, the day of resurrection, the day of standing, whichever, it goes by all those names, right? When the hour is established, that's part of your Aqidah. It's in the Quran. So the signs that day is going to come is extremely important, and it's something to look out for. Now, it's aspects of it that I'm pointing out that I want to speak on specifically, because us who've been alive long enough can attest to some of it in this day and time. So I'm going to use a couple of hadiths from Bukhari and Ibn Majah, right? So starting off with this hadith of Bukhari, which I have some of them written on the board, but we're going to discuss them, right? So, narrated by Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. Allah's Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, the hour will not be established until one, like what I have on this board, and after we finish the hadith, we going to discuss some key points. One, two big groups will fight each other, whereupon there will be a great number of casualties on both sides, and they will be following one and the same religious doctrine. Which we already know, the Sunni Shiite thing been going on for decades, right? There's also been forms of different doctrines, but the belief is the same. That's not Islam. There has been wars just in other countries where certain forms of Christianity fighting and going to war with others, such as in Africa, or a Jewish Christian debate. Jewish Christian doctrine, same book, but they at war and fighting each other. Like I said, some of the reasons where people fled from where they were to come to America was because of religious persecution, where Christians was killing other Christians. They was having wars. They was burning each other at the stake because of the way that they practiced Christianity that they didn't accept. So we can see this, but a lot of this stuff we look at it from a Muslim perspective. The Sunni Shiite thing has been going on for 1,000 years, man. So that's one sign. Sign number two, about, not approximately or not on the dot, but around 30 Dajjals will appear. And each one of them will claim that they are a messenger of Allah, a messenger or a prophet, right? Because you got to be a prophet in order to be a messenger. right? Some of us look at that from an Islamic perspective only. Like they're all going to claim to be Muslim prophets. But when you dig into the hadiths, right, it shows that every prophet during their time warned about the coming of the Dajjal. Like they said in other religions and different faiths, they're referred to the Dajjal as the Antichrist. So when you look at the ones who claim to be prophets and messengers of Islam, right? Of course, the ones that we know of in the urban community in America, definitely Elijah Muhammad claimed to be a messenger, which you have to be a prophet in order to be a messenger. So that means he claimed to be a prophet and messenger. And I'm only throwing that in because sometimes when you say prophet, Nation of Islam guys want to come in and say he never claimed to be a prophet. But they're not Nation of Islam guys. They Muslims that used to be in the Nation of Islam, but still had those belief systems. They wore deen now. But they'll say he never claimed to be a prophet. He only claimed to be a messenger. Well, they'll say he was a messenger. But you can't be a messenger without being a prophet. But you could be a prophet without being a messenger. Okay? Noble Drew Ali. Now, on a foreign aspect, like there's a whole list. There was some that the companions of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had to take off this planet. They had to plant them, put them in the dirt. But then when you throw in people who claim to be prophets of Christianity or said they was Jesus coming back, when you count them up and look them all up, it's been around 30. It's been around 30. It's like 25 maybe that claim to be some form of a prophet of Islam, a prophet or messenger of Islam. Then when you look outside of that, like add in the guy who was in Waco, Texas or whatever, and they had to go in and kill him and had the cult, and he was saying he was a prophet, but not even to mention all these other people who talking about they prophets and prophetess on a Christian aspect and all that. So about 30 Dajjals will appear. And that's something when you go and look. Like I said, just claiming to be some form of an Islamic prophet, whether it was a made-up Islam, had nothing to do with Islam other than terminology, Allah, Isa, you know what I'm saying, Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, just some terminology. It's been about from like 20 to 25 or something like that. So when you come into number 3, religious knowledge is going to be taken away by the death of religious scholars. That's not just in Islam. Look at the ones there was actually Jewish and Christian scholars during the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Some of them still had bits and pieces of what was real. Some of the book was actually changed during the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But through the death of those scholars, true Judaism as they're referred to it, where you could follow it from A to Z, is gone. That's why another prophet had to come. That Christianity is gone. That's why Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sent. So the point is, why is it gone? Because the real religious knowledge of it was gone. And when you take a look, when it came to Islam, look at how Allah Azza wa Jal preserved it in a way those other ones wasn't preserved because we have tafsirs to explain what the ayats meant, right? We have authentic hadith of how the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived and acted out the Quran. And then we have athar of the people who lived and learned directly from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like, we have common knowledge that the beauty is the Quran was revealed over a course of 23 years. That's a long time, right? How long did it take for the Bible to be revealed? What they call it to. You know what I'm saying? How long did it take for the Torah to be revealed? How many years did it take? See, when you, but I'm mentioning that because when you understand that, then you will understand that some of these ayats, it was situations that happened that made the ayats come down. When you understand those situations better, then you understand how to apply it. That's missing from all those other things. Except for what the Quran reveals. Matter of fact, Daqeeq. Let me pause for 1 second. I want to pull up something. Daqeeq. Alhamdulillah. So, back to how the religious knowledge has been lost and through the death of the scholars, right? Even if you have somebody who claimed to be a Christian scholar today or a Jewish scholar today, what do they have of the original? Now let me show y'all something about change. Now check this out, because I be trying to get people to understand, because we're so limited and we don't read our Quran enough for studying. Of course, let me be clear, and I'm not saying every last Muslim on the earth, because I say that, or we and me, I'm putting myself in the category. That don't mean every last person on this earth. And I'm not trying to generalize. We have to put those type of things in because everybody don't understand the same as Shaitan whispers. So look, we don't read our Qurans enough on a study level that we miss key points. We always talk about this Torah and the Injil, and we're tying it to what these people refer to as the Holy Bible. Right? It's the begin all, the end all. Holy Bible and Quran. That's it, right? And some of us still stick to this thing that these people refer to as the Holy Bible and feel like we're supposed to believe in this Bible that they have, when Aqidah is referring to Wahi, revelations. So let's look at what what Allah informs the Rasul about in Quran al-Kareem to inform us about, and also read for ourselves when we read Quran al-Kareem. Go to Surah 4, An-Nisa. Let's do ayat number 162 to add into, because it ties in perfectly with what we're discussing. And I'm going to read it quickly, right? So, but for those of them well grounded in knowledge, right? But those amongst them who are well grounded in knowledge, what's we supposed to take from that? We are supposed to be in the category of ones that's well grounded in Islamic knowledge, religious knowledge, right? The ones who are faithful, the believers, right? The faithful believers who believe in what has been revealed to you, O Prophet. The Wahi, Quran, and Sunnah, right? And what was revealed before you. Especially, right? Especially those who establish the prayer, those who pay the zakat, and believe in Allah and the last day. The last day is what we're discussing, the hour, and the signs of the hour. And the last day, to those people, we will grant a great reward. So, key thing, starting off, we need to be in the category of those who are well grounded in knowledge in order to get this reward. And if we fall in line with all of this properly, we will be granted a great reward from Allah Azza wa Jal. But we believing in stuff that wasn't sent down before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and referring to it as Allah's book. Now let me prove something else to y'all. I just wanted to read that because we're talking about the Aqidah and the last day. And Allah warning us against us and belief in it. We need to know the signs of when that day or that time is going to be established. But look at this. So coming into 163, that was 162. Allah Azza wa Jal, and I'm reading from the translation of the Noble, right? In English. So again, indeed, we have sent Wahi, revelation. We've sent revelation to Rasul. We've sent revelation to you, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We sent revelation to Noah, right? And the prophets after him, right? We sent the revelation to Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, and Al-Asbat, which is the offsprings of him, which people refer to as the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Well, the 12 tribes of Yaqub, right? Jacob, right? So also to Yaqub, or Jacob, some say Jacob, some say Yaqub, Isa, that's 10 so far, Ayub, Yunus, Harun, Suleiman, which some people say Solomon, and to Dawood, David, we gave the Zabur. So when it mentions books, so as when it comes to the books, we know there's the book, the Quran that we have. We know that there's the Torah. We know that there's the Injil. And then we know that there's the Zabur. Now, we want to cloak all that because we say, so is the Zabur part of the Torah? Or is the Zabur part of the Injil? It's an entirely separate book. So along with these inspirations, these wahis, and then Prophet David was given the Zabur. When you look at the Christians, so Zabur, some people refer to that as what the Christians refer to it as Psalms. Right? The Psalms of David. Some say he wrote 75 books of Psalms. Some say there's 73. But the Christians say he wrote it. If he wrote it, okay, cool. We'll say they say he wrote it. If they saying that the Most High revealed it to him to write, cool. Alhamdulillah. So, is we cloaking the Psalms in all under the Holy Bible? Because if they saying the Holy Bible is the Torah and the Injil, which one is the Psalms in? Because if the Old Testament is what was revealed to Moses, to my understanding, Psalms is in the Old Testament, right? So how could that been a book revealed to Moses? Or some say the first 5 books of the Old Testament. So when you look at this, my point in preaching out this, where does it say that Allah sent a revelation or a book, a revelation which is Wahi? When does it say that Allah Azza wa Jal revealed or gave a book to Peter, to Paul? Huh? And I'm only gonna name 2 because I don't want it to get lengthy. But all these other books that they have, where does it say that Allah gave them a book or revealed anything to them, which the basis of these books is based off of? And some of the books that they claim that was revealed to Musa, they continue after his death. How is that possible? Quran al-Kareem don't continue after the passing of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Injil, it continues after what these people talk about. It continues after the transition of Isa, well, Jesus as they call it. If it was revealed to him, how did he continue to write? Is he the one telling the story about him being up on the cross and dying and coming back? How does it continue? That lets you know somebody else wrote it. But the key is the Psalms, what they refer to, right? The Zabur was given to David. Let me show y'all how y'all know good and well that this book that they call in Psalms the book of David ain't come from Allah Azza wa Jal. So people need to be careful. And I'm pointing out another thing because people keep talking about that Holy Bible is from Allah Azza wa Jal because they don't want to let go of it. They don't want to let go of it. Psalms 2, verse number 7. We'll use the King James Version because there's many definitions, right? I will declare the decree. We as Muslims, we know that decree is the qadr of Allah, right? I will declare the decree the Lord has said unto me. Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Let's go to a English. Here go to King James, the New Version. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said to me, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. Today I have begotten you. Right? New American Standard Bible. I will announce the decree of the Lord. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have fathered you. Now we know that they're going to try to put all type of twist in it. But a lot of the Muslims, when they debate, they say, how can Jesus be God's only begotten son when David was begotten before him? So here go a contradiction. Oh, well, begotten didn't mean that he was his father like a person father, but that also means he wasn't Jesus' father like a person father also, right? Also, when they asked Jesus to teach us a prayer, what did he teach them? What they refer to as the Lord Prayer, where it starts off with our Father that is in heaven. To where it's saying he's all of our Father. But the point is this, even with the begotten, the way they want to change it or whatever, I have become your father, right? Allah Azza wa Jal makes it very clear in Surah Al-Ikhlas. He begets not, nor is he begotten. These people claim that I have a son. These people claim that I have children. Whether these children is you, whether these children is Jesus, whether these children is David. Is David my son? I became his father on this day. I became Jesus' father on this day. Our father, I'm everybody's father. Allah Azza wa Jal makes it clear in the Quran, all of those statements is false, regardless of whatever type of spin you put on it. So if this book of Psalms says that Allah told David, you are my son, on I have begotten you, Batil. So how this got in there? Who put that in there? Even if you look into it, I'll just leave it up to other people. We ain't gonna put up time to talk about the flaws that's in it. But when you match this up with what Allah says in Quran al-Kareem, things about this don't add up. So then for people who only say there's a Torah in the Injil, is the Psalms of David part of the Torah? Or is it part of the Injil? Since they claim that the Old Testament is the Torah, and then they claim that the New Testament is the Injil. Y'all blending the Psalms of David, the Zabur, in with books that was revealed to somebody else? Or like they say, only the first 5 books, the Kafirs, only the first 5 books is the books of Moses. Okay, so this other stuff that y'all have in between, even what y'all referring to as Psalms, who did Allah Azza wa Jal reveal them to? If only the first 5 books is to Moses. Anybody? But anyway, the point is, see, that religious knowledge has been lost through the death of scholars. So even right now, if you have a scholar of Christianity, they can't answer these questions. And then when they come to try to answer these questions, they're going to have to make up some lies and put a spin and a rhetoric on it, or they're going to reverse it and flip the Quran and make up lies and slanders about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because they can't justify the batil that's in their book. When Allah Azza wa Jal make it extremely clear, them people changed those books with their hands and then sold them for a price. That's what it says in the Quran. They changed those books with their hands and then sold them for a price. That knowledge has been lost. So that's why I wanted to bring that Quran ayat in, to also show we supposed to believe in the hour, the last day. Right? And then the religious knowledge, not only the religious knowledge of Islam is going to be lost through the death of scholars. So like, for instance, the books and the knowledge will be around, even on a computer. But the scholars who can properly teach it and get an understanding of it will be gone. And that's why the Quran, the Hadith say, when it starts to get to that point, ignorant people is going to ask other ignorant people questions, and they're going to answer them based off of knowledge that they don't have, therefore misleading the people who asked them the question and misleading themselves altogether. This is all signs that the hour is coming. And we're there. Yes, we are there. You have Muslims who claim to be on the best Aqidah and have the most firm Aqidah and don't even understand that Allah's face is referring to Allah. If you say Allah's face is referring to Allah, or you changing the meaning, how can Allah's face be referring to Allah? Or himself? In English, himself. How can Allah's face be referring to Allah? You have an Aqidah issue. You don't know that Allah's face is Allah? Because certain people change the meaning, that's not changing it to power or awareness. Allah's face is Allah. But y'all got the best Aqidah. Nobody else can talk to anybody else about Aqidah but y'all. But y'all don't even know that Allah's face is Allah. But y'all answering all these questions. Let's continue. 4. Earthquakes will increase in number. Now, when you go to some of the taqreeds, it also explains, and other hadiths that speak on this, it also speaks on natural disasters. Tornadoes, tsunamis, things that's just going to destroy the world and the cities, wildfires. Not just limited to earthquakes only. These type of natural disasters will increase. Time will pass quickly. Some people will get off Friday. They even make jokes on TikToks and different things where people will come in like, I just got off work. They take their clothes off, take a shower, lay down in the bed, and then boom, pop up. It's time to go right back work again. Like, I barely even went to sleep. I barely even had a chance to do anything. The time is going by so fast. You get off on Friday. You don't even have enough time in your day to do everything that you want to do. Because boom, as soon as you turn around, you're right back at work. Time is going by quickly. Sometimes the year go by so quick, people be like, man, that year went by fast. Watch when it seemed like the last few years, when we start getting close to the end of Ramadan, watch people start being like, man, Ramadan went by quick. Just like right now, some people like, dang, Ramadan here again already. Time will pass quickly. 6. Al-fitan, trials and afflictions will appear. Daqiq. So I wanted to pull up the definition of the word affliction so that people can get a better understanding as opposed to what we think is an affliction. Right? A cause of persistent pain or distress. Great suffering. The state of being afflicted by something that caused suffering. Right? Do you know how many people running around here suffering from depression? You know how many people in pain because of the death of loved ones, because of things that done happened to them, because of things that they done did to other people, just constantly in grief. Certain things is also afflictions is diseases that people catching, sexually transmitted, whether different viruses, COVIDs, different mental disorders. You know how many people suffering from anxieties? They can't even be normal people, even if they in a house by themselves. People in the house by themselves having anxiety attacks. Something they seen on Facebook, something they seen on the news. Sitting in the house in peace and quiet thinking and have anxiety attacks and can't get out of their bed and stuff. These things are afflictions. And these things are afflictions that's going to be sent down from Allah Azza wa Jal. Trials and afflictions, things that's going to make it difficult for you to even be a good Muslim. Like poverty. Poverty is an affliction, man. Things that the government do to us, this is afflictions. Stuff that they doing to the food that we gotta eat. They making the production of food cheaper by coming up ways to mass produce it, making the cost go down to produce it, but then sending the prices up in the grocery store. Before, the price of producing one chicken, $2.50. They bring the price down to $1. It costs them $1 to produce one chicken based off the eggs that they hatch and the feed and all that. It costs them $1 to produce one chicken, but they brought it down from $2.50 to $1, but the price went up to $10 a chicken. These things are afflictions. Even the things what we about to get into about ignorance is going to be widespread. That's the other aspect of when the religious knowledge disappear. Ignorance is going to be widespread. Not just religious ignorance, but ignorance period. People going to be ignorant. Right now you have a society, right? They got one person they brought into the government that want to computerize the world. They want to replace all the factory workers with robots. Right? They want to face anything that they can replace with a robot. They want to do it. All the Amazon workers getting replaced in warehouses by robots. They all out of jobs. Then with the person who tied next to him saying, we want to, anybody who's on welfare for 2 years, we kicking them off if they don't have no job. But in reality, this shows the ignorance. And some people buying into it because they only see the racism aspect of it. Our tax dollars is going to these people that have some color on them, not realizing that the majority of the people on the welfare system is non-colored people. Reality. So this is going to affect them, and once they catch up with them, they gonna be mad. But listen, right now, without them cutting jobs, it's not enough place. If every place, gas station, food restaurant, no matter what it is, if every single place of business in the United States of America employed everybody that is under the legal age limit to work, people still gonna be out of jobs. There's not enough jobs for everybody in America. Without them coming up with robots to cut jobs, now you're gonna have somebody who's digging in their pockets, finding out where they got all the cookies hidden. And like I say, Elon Musk, right? He's digging through finding all this money and all this and that. But see, the old wise saying goes, when a person find out where you hiding your cookies, they start eating them. So there's not enough jobs to employ everybody. There isn't. Then y'all gonna cut them. Then turn around and say, after 2 years, anybody who's still on welfare, they're going to get kicked off of it. Or other stipulations, you got to work 30 hours a week to still be able to get it. We're going to affect your government housing. We're going to affect your Section 8, all of that. When there isn't even enough jobs for everybody to work. Anybody who think that these people came up with a system for taxpayers to pay to fund people that they hate is crazy. That system was set up for them. It just upset them that everybody can benefit from it other than them. So they're trying to figure out ways to deal with it. Already not enough jobs. Y'all coming up with a way to cut all these other jobs and then kick people off welfare because they can't get jobs. Then they'll look at us. Oh, y'all just lazy. Y'all just this, that, and the third. When y'all created a system that people with felonies can't get certain jobs. So y'all already know some of these people not lazy and just flat out criminals. Y'all already know they can't get jobs. One, because The system is stacked up against them. And then two, y'all already know there's people who's behind desks that's not going to hire them because of their color of their skin, whether they qualified or not. Y'all already know this. But at the same time, have a fear of if they go too broke, they going to start attacking us. That's why we got to have all these guns stacked up. Y'all creating the very system that y'all scared of. All in the name of thinking that y'all gonna hurt some people that also hurt yourself. That's because ignorance is becoming widespread. Guess what else these things are? Afflictions. Afflictions. They signs of the hours. And for anybody who out here chasing it, yeah, y'all better figure out what this deen is all about. Let's continue. Right? The seventh thing. Right? The seventh thing, al-harj. Unnecessary, senseless killing and violence is going to be widespread. Right? 8. Wealth in abundance. So abundant that a wealthy person will worry that they will find nobody to even give sadaqah to. They won't even be able to find people to give zakat to. And people having that problem right now. I don't even know who to give my zakat al-fitr to. I don't even really know nobody that's needy. I can't even find anybody who fit the description for sure. It's already happening. It's already happening. Because we're rich poor people. We're rich poor people. Because you have people in designer clothes, designer shoes, luxury cars, big houses, but in their house, they eat noodles. They barely even got food to eat. But their appearance, they super spiffy. Yeah. You got people who getting hundreds of dollars of food stamps, but then they got to turn around and sell the majority of them just to pay for somewhere to live. Not to mention, because of the money that get wasted on hair, nails, and alcohol and drinks, including the men who help them waste that, sell that link. So give me the money, I'm going to flip it and double it. I'm going to jump in this dice game and lose the money. I done seen that. I done seen a woman go sell the link, get her money to a man, and he jumps in the dice game and lose it. Now they ain't got no food or the bills to pay. Now she on his back and he thinking about robbery. True story. And kicked the door in on a gambling house and got clapped. You gonna come back and try to rob the very dice game where you lost all your money at and got clapped out there in the grass. Ambulance got to come pick the fool up. And then guess where he went after that? To jail. Ignorance is widespread. But we don't even know who to give stuff to. You try to give stuff to people, they don't even need it. Let's continue. Number 9, the people will compete with one another in constructing tall buildings. We already see that. Especially with the Arabs. Dubai want to have the world's tallest building. Then in Saudi Arabia, now they got to top a building taller than that one. You know, all of these tall, China got the tall building. America had the Sears Tower and the Empire State, all these tall buildings, and now people competing in tall buildings. Then, like with the thing that I heard from them, I heard a person question them in the Arab lands about building these tall buildings and competing. And you know what they said? Although we're in the Arab lands, these are small areas that's heavy populated. Because the Muslims want to come here because of the safety. So we have to build up. Because we can't build out. A concept that came from what? Like around in the Asian countries, your Chinas, your Japans and stuff, where they so heavily populated, they have to build up. Man, they building buildings and apartment complexes right now because they so heavily populated, man, that look like train carts. People can't even stand all the way up in them. But they need somewhere to stay, depending on your height. You should see it. You can see it on YouTube. It's crazy, but it's real high design, and they building them up, cramming them in. But they competing in building tall buildings, man. Luxury buildings. We're already seeing it. All of this we starting to see. Especially with the senseless killings. Something that I got to get more into. I really want to get more into some of these, right? Then, number 10. A person will pass by the grave of someone and will say, I wish I was in your place. I wish I could trade places with you. Right? Or you're the lucky one. You're in a better place than I am. You don't have to fight no more. The struggle not on your back no more. You got friends who, especially out here in the Shy, you got some friends who will get killed. 3 of his best friends get killed. And now they don't really have no more friends. And they'll crash out. Not mattering if they die or not, because they think when they die, they get to go be with their friends. When some of their friends get killed, you see them tweeting and all this other stuff talking about, I'm going to come join you soon. That is a form of that. Some people, when we be on earth, look, what's a good saying right now that comes from Christian culture? When somebody die, you're in a better place. They're in a better place now. Yeah, that same better place that you trying not to end up in. Because these are supposed to be comforts. Because you don't want to accept the reality. Which a lot of us can't. We got loved ones, man, who died up on super shirk. All type of shirk. Said despicable, hateful things about Allah. Because they didn't understand Allah is just an Arabic word for the creator. That old fake God say terrible, disgusting things about Islam. Although in practice, in worship, in praise, in giving, we better than them. They into all type of dunya, drugs, alcohol, sex, murder. Died on all type of major shirks. But what we say, they're in a better place now. Yeah. They're in a better place than the place you in. These is the type of sayings that people gonna say. Yeah. We can see it happening, man. Number 11. And then when the sun will rise from the west, right? There's some scientists, and I've been watching some documentaries. It's been a few years ago, but they was actually doing this polar axis shift. How they coming up with why this region they're going to get a Arctic cold bliss because of this actual shift of the earth and all these different things with rotation. Guess what they actually predicted? That a day is going to come where the sun is going to start to rise in the west. Yeah. These projections and these predictions, but they don't know Islam. These people that just analyze everything and spend all type of billions of dollars just being overly nosy just to find out what the Deen of Islam already tell us. But we don't believe it until we hear them say it. Y'all can even look it up. Hold on, Doc Keep. So this, I just went ahead and pulled it up, but I watched documentaries on it, right? And now when I pull it up, because I didn't Google it, I just seen like these little clips and stuff years ago. They saying NASA not doing any research on this, or their scientists. So they saying it's false. But it says the scientists who say one day the sun will rise in the west, because there are some that saying it, they are referring to a hypothetical scenario where the earth rotation will reverse, meaning it will spin from east to west instead of west to east, causing the sun to appear to rise in the west and set in the east from our perspective on the planet. So they saying this is considered highly unlikely event, right? But they have scientific facts, according to them, that is going to happen. All I know is ain't nothing impossible with Allah Azza wa Jal. See, these people who feel like they scientific facts is the begin all and end all, like they're Allah. If Allah say the sun is going to rise in the west, it's going to happen. Something is even going into their mind to kind of try to check. Not because of Islam, but because Shaitan might be whispering to them. And they trying to do the math and the knowledge. Let me see something, because I also seen somewhere it said, hold on, a Bible verse. I don't remember one. But let me see, it has something about a Bible verse saying it. Let's see if it does. Oh, no, not really. No, that ain't technically the same thing. So, I gotta take care of some stuff, but I'm gonna come back and expound on certain things, which I did kind of explain, but I didn't really break down. I want y'all to see. I'll take a minute. The senseless killing, some of these main ones that I want to point out, just like I pointed out how the ignorance, religious knowledge is taken away by death of the scholars, which is going to cause ignorance to spread. The people getting so simple-minded, like even with me looking at stuff, just looking at social media, like I said, I study people and I look at stuff not for entertainment. It always flick my Islamic lens on. The people really not getting bright no more. Even with these people, because you have a certain group of people viewing this from a racist aspect. They just really think the destruction of dismantling the Department of Education is going to benefit them and only hurt people of color. What you don't understand is, why are people going to need education when you have what? Intelligence that's artificial. Y'all don't even no longer need all this education no more. You don't even really need to learn how to write any longer, because You could just know the numbers on your devices. So why are we going to teach the kids writing? You're not technically signed. You put a digital print on stuff now. All of these things, as they start to revamp it slowly but surely, we can X this out. Because if you go and look through the history of it and start to see the things that they was getting rid of in certain programs, after school programs, and looking at, because I look at the history of this department of education, why it was created, where it came from, the way they tear it down once and then revamped it into a whole nother, just changed the name of it. And then Jimmy Carter came back and signed these certain things on it. And the way that their budget is, like right now their budget is in the billions. Their budget is in the billions, but the way they separate the tax dollars depends on your zone or the city area your school is in. Basically, if you stay in an area where people property taxes is high, within the thousands, and your school is in that area, because the taxes is higher in there, those tax dollars, those schools are going to be able to afford better teachers. But if you in an area where your school is in a tax zone where people property taxes $1,000 a year, just like I seen this rich guy, the real estate mogul. Anyway, he got this house on what they call Billionaires Row or something like that, where all the fires and stuff was just at. So I was watching. He was on Vlad TV. This man said his taxes was like $400,000 a year, property taxes, something like that. Because he was like, in 4 years, I have to pay $10 million in taxes. Or in 10 years, I have to pay $4 million. I can't remember which one he said. But I think he said it was $400,000 a year. Property taxes. Some people don't even make $100,000 a year. This is their property taxes. So imagine, because they're in a high-paying area of property taxes, imagine what their schools and roads and different things look like. Because of the property tax, and the money goes to those things. But by us not being aware of that, we don't know. But the point is, once they start cutting these things and this and that, it ain't going to just affect people that have color in their skin, man. Just like when they did the thing, when the Medicaid and all this medical stuff that they was going to do. And I used to listen to people, at work. Those lazy bums sitting on their butt thinking they're going to get free medical insurance. Then about 6 months down the line, them exact same people was crying because now their grandmother and their mother can't afford all the medicine and pills that they own no more. Wait a minute, that ain't supposed to affect us. I just think, just like the dude who killed the head of that dude who killed dude in New York, the head of the department who he feel like price gauge people insurance and all that because he had some issues with his back. He went and clapped dude because dude could no longer afford, and he was rich. He could no longer afford his medicine and to get treatment because the games that they'll play, that's affecting people that don't have color in their skin. I just seen a guy, his family is outraged because their son just died because the price of his asthma medicine went up to $500. due to these new policies and cuts. He died from an asthma attack because he couldn't afford his asthma medicine no more. But not saying him and not making fun of people, but these were the same programs that I personally seen. And I'm not saying everybody on earth was laughing and giggling because they thought only people of color was going to feel the effects of that. Not factoring in the majority of people that's on the welfare system is people that don't have color in their skin. The system was designed for them. That's ignorance being widespread. And unfortunately, we can't get our heads together to do something, man. But us who Islamically inclined, I see these afflictions, man. It's time to chase Jannah, baby. It's time to chase Jannah. And now you got all these people talking about this stuff is wasteful spending, not even realizing some of these things was put into office and policies by Republicans. But just by them coming in and it kept going, it's a way for them to say, look at all the wasteful spending that the Democrats was doing. Not knowing that when Trump came in and gave all that money away for COVID and all the extending the food stamps and giving food stamp cards to the kids because they getting homeschooled, and the ones who got free lunch, now that money can be allocated to little kids to get groceries so they can eat at home because they not getting free lunch at school no more. Yeah, I was seeing little kids, man, 10, 12 years old with food stamp cards so they can get school lunch, couple $100 on it. Boxes, they was even dropping a box worth of food lunches off on porches for kids who homeschooled that was poor. That was a beautiful thing. But I remember then the same people at our job saying the prices of food and everything, they gonna make us pay for this on the back end. And now that we paying for it through gas, different taxes, people filing their tax returns, not getting no money back. People getting these PPP loans, now they doing 6 years. Doing 6 years and all this other stuff that they fell into, that predatory lending. But now the effects of it, them finally came up on the back end. They can say, hey, look what the Democrats did. We're going to fix it all. Which I'm not into government. And, I just feel so bad for other people that buy into the propaganda that voting doesn't matter and that the taghut and all this weird stuff that we get, they need to learn the Islamic system. Because right now you have Muslim mayors. You have black mayors. If you think voting didn't matter, if you think votes didn't really count, do y'all think we would actually have black mayors? Do y'all think we would actually have Muslim mayors and senators and stuff? Especially Muslims that's black or Somalian, or senators and stuff that's Mexican. If y'all thought voting didn't, and they bucking the system, they not going along the line being puppies for them people. Supreme Court justices and judges that got voted in racist states, y'all think they put them people there? Y'all got to be crazy. But you buy into the propaganda and say, oh, well, presidential elections don't matter, but you guys got to make sure you vote locally. See, y'all keep listening to all this widespread ignorance and stay not involved, and then they pull little stunts. If you got felonies and you do this and that, you not allowed to vote and all this other stuff. All these people who locked up in the penitentiary, they can't vote. You think they gonna have some white president that can't stand black people finna come to your neighborhood and kiss black babies and hug them, and votes don't matter? Give Snoop Dogg and Nelly them $2 million a piece out of the budget to come perform, to sway black people to vote for them if votes don't matter? Man, y'all better wake up, man. And all this stuff can happen right up under your nose because you got Muslims who think the Taghut voting is the Taghut. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but what about if that day come and Allah Azza wa Jal say, why y'all didn't do nothing to make a difference in that area y'all was in? When you go and look in the biographies of the Rasulullah and the companions who came after him as the Khalifa, when the Rasul used to go and want to make a decision about war, about government, if Allah hadn't sent down something at that time, he sat with his inner circle, and guess what they did? They took a vote. Just like even when it came time for Abu Bakr and some of the people to come Khalifa, if you go and look, there was some voting involved. That's why you have other people who feel like certain people were supposed to be the Khalifa and not Abu Bakr. Allah made him the Khalifa. The people voted Abu Bakr in. Or the Rasul just recommended him, but the people gave pledge to Abu Bakr as in a vote. You don't think that the Rasul and them, as they started to spread, they didn't send people to other areas to become the governor of that land? Y'all think it's not a political system over there? You think they don't have court, jail, judges? Come on, man. But y'all sitting around listening to these people who don't even have enough sense to know that Allah's face is Allah. Talking about voting is the Taghut. Yeah. So what we gonna do? We not gonna do anything? You go to areas like Hamtramck in Michigan. Due to them pulling together and getting political and getting votes and getting things signed, the Adhan is called out in the city over there in Hamtramck. They took over the schools and everything over there. See, they did something. We do nothing but run our mouth, man. But let me go and do what I gotta do, man. We'll continue, even if it's just us. I just gotta take care of this, man. So, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not trying to promote certain things because some people don't like me talking this way. And I'm not talking. My message isn't for just a Muslim of color. It's for Muslims in America, man. Because we have to live in a system where they dictate the laws that we got to live by. Why is that okay? We can't do nothing? Oh man, that's the Taghut. You just got to sit back and live under the rule of your oppressors. Voting don't matter anyway. Man, y'all better wake up and apologize to yourself. Because everybody not going to sit around and be no goofy. Oh, they never did nothing, this and that. You don't even know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't understand government. sometimes they can't do nothing, and anything that they do try to do get vetoed because it's maybe too many Republicans who vetoed that down where nothing can get done. Because y'all didn't vote locally to get other people in the House of Congress. Oh, they want us to go vote on this and go vote on that. Oh, they feel like we supposed to vote for this person all because they got black skin and we're going to fall into the propaganda machine and I know politics and all this and that. It be cracking me up, man, because it be people with mad felonies. They can't even vote. They still on all type of paroles and different laws. These be people who can't even vote. Talking that old dumb stuff, man, to young people. Then they want to sit around and pout because they end up with an old hanging judge. An old judge who was taking money behind closed doors to lock your people up when they're innocent. But you got some old people who can't even vote because of their records and and all this other stuff. But they the voice of the people. Oh, see, voting the system is just dumb. They think you're supposed to vote in this one because they black and this and that. You gotta know policies. Yeah. What's the policies of both parties? They don't even know. But they so used to talking like they in jail, see? In the world, baby. Y'all sitting out here misguiding people, man. Anyway, man. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.